Good morning, all of you. In the last session, we have discussed regarding the basic operation of converters. Converter is nothing but rectifier, which will convert alternating current into direct current. And based on the type of supply which we are giving, it will be mainly classified into single phase and three phase. So we have detailedly discussed regarding the operation of single phase supply, single phase half wave controlled converter with different loading conditions, R load and RL load. And we have discussed in that half wave controlled converter with RL load. In that RL load, we have observed in output voltage negative spikes. Negative spikes are available, and that will reduce the average output voltage. At the same time, power factor will be reduces. To remove that, to reduce that, to alleviate that problem, we have connected a freewheeling diode across the load circuit. Then we have discussed full wave controlled converters. In full wave controlled converters, we are getting two pulses for a given single phase AC supply. For one cycle, we are getting two pulses in the output. For half wave controlled converters, we are getting only one pulse. For total complete cycle, we are getting only one pulse. In this, for total one cycle, we are getting two pulses. And we have seen the circuit operation for R load and RL load. In this session, we are mainly focusing on three phase converters. Three phase converters. Three phase converters with the different loading conditions. Again, half wave controlled converter and full wave controlled converter. For three phase, we are going to discuss in detail. As the supply will be available in some cases three phase, so we require conversion from three phase to direct current may be required in some cases. So for that, we need to discuss the operation of three phase converters, three phase controlled converters also. So the features of three phase rectifiers are mainly they operate from three phase AC supply. They provide higher DC output voltage and DC output power, higher output voltage ripple frequency. The filtering requirements are simplified for smoothing output voltage and output current. Three-phase control rectifiers are extensively used in high-power, variable speed industrial DC drives. So actually, DC drives are having uh, smooth speed torque characteristics. Speed torque characteristics of DC motors are very excellent. That's why we are using still in industries whenever we require wide range of speed control. So in DC drives, we are using whenever the variation of speeds is more important and high starting torque requirements are available. So in industrial DC drive, we require DC. To produce DC, we are using the three-phase rectifiers. And compared to single phase, in three phase, the produced output voltage will be more, and the frequency of ripples will be reduced. So coming to advantages, here higher ripple frequency, less filtering requirements for smoothing out load current. For smoothing, actually the produced output will be in the form of pulsating DC. To convert this pulsating DC to pure DC, we are using filtering circuits. So the requirement of that filtering components and the filtering circuits will be reduced in the three-phase circuits. And the load performance is superior as load current is mostly continuous in three-phase converters. So depending on the firing angle and depending on the type of load, The load current may be continuous and the performance is superior as the load current is almost continuous in three-phase converters. Main differences between the normal operation and controlled operation. So this is a differentiation between ordinary rectification and controlled rectification. So in ordinary rectification will be done by using diodes. In controlled rectification we are using thyristors. Thyristors. Diode rectifiers produce fixed output voltages and controlled converters will produce controlled outputs. The output voltage can be varied by varying the firing angle of the thyristors. In diode rectification, the diode conduction angle is for 180 degrees. 180 degrees. And here in controlled rectification, the thyristor conductor conduction angle can be controlled by firing angle. Firing angle. So the main difference between these two is here we are having control in the instant of conduction. So with that we can vary the firing angle which is given to thyristor. Generally we are using SCRs. So whenever we are changing the firing angle or the delay angle, so accordingly the output voltage will be changing. The power obtained from the circuit will also change. So that is the main difference between uncontrolled operation and controlled operation. So we need to consider the 2 points before going to discussion of controlled converters. Here the first one is the thyristor will conduct when the anode to cathode voltage is positive and the firing pulse is applied to gate terminal. Delaying the firing pulse by an angle alpha controls the load voltage. So when we are discussing the characteristics of SCR, we have observed that to conduct the device, we require two things. One is the anode to cathode voltage has to be positive. Then the device will be forward bias. So the device will be in forward blocking state. To bring the device from forward blocking state to forward conduction state, we need to apply the firing pulse, gate pulse across the gate terminal of the SCR. Okay, so depending on the instant of application of this instant of gate pulse, the output voltage available across load terminals will be changes. The possible range of gate delay is between 0 degrees to 180 degrees. So we can apply firing pulse from the duration 0 degrees to 180 degrees. But because of commutation problems, in actual situations, the maximum firing angle is limited to around 160 degrees. So we have to trigger the SCR at a maximum value of 160 degrees. In practical circuits, we should not go up to 180 degrees. So that is due to commutation problems of SCR. So this limitation we need to consider while triggering the SCR. So these points we need to take into consideration while operating the SCR. So the device has to be forward biased and we need to apply gate signal. The thing is we can change the delay angle. The delay angle range is from 0 to 160 degrees instead of 180 degrees. So we are operating in the range of 0 to 160 degrees. Three phase half wave rectifier using R load. So here we are operating with the diodes. That's why we are calling it as uncontrolled operation. Uncontrolled operation. So here we are providing three-phase supply to a delta star connected transformer. So this secondary of transformer is having 4 points. So three terminals and one neutral. Three phases and one neutral. This is R phase, Y phase, and B phase, and one neutral terminal. On each phase, we are connecting a diode. Diode D1 will be placed in R phase. Diode D2 will be placed in Y phase. Diode D3 will be placed in B phase. Actually, the output is a three-phase supply. The device which is subjected to more forward bias will be in conduction. At a time, only one diode will be in conduction. The diode will be whichever is having more forward bias. So that diode will be in conduction. Suppose we'll take an example. Suppose we are getting a supply voltage of plus 30 volts here, and here we are getting a voltage of minus 10 volts, and here we are getting a voltage of minus 130 volts. So in that case, the diode D1, so which is subjected to positive voltage, it will be triggered. It will be in conduction, and the current will flow through R phase and diode D1. Then it will go to neutral. Diode D1 will be in conduction. So we are getting output in R phase. R phase. Okay. So R phase voltage will be available across the load terminal. So across this load, the R phase voltage will be available. Whenever, suppose if two devices are forward biased, suppose here we are having a voltage of 10 volts, and here we are having a voltage of 50 volts, and here we are having a voltage of minus 30 volts, example. So in that case, these two are forward biased. So here plus 10 volts, here plus 50 volts. So in that case, the device which is subjected to more forward bias, then that device will be in conduction. So please note, the device which will be subjected to more forward bias, the device will be in conduction. So this thing we need to take into consideration. And for a total cycle, we are having positive cycle 180 degrees and negative cycle 180 degrees, total 360 degrees, and we are having three diodes. So each diode will conduct for a duration of 120 degrees. 120 degrees each diode will conduct. We are going to see the circuit operation. So here we are providing a three-phase supply through a delta to star transformer, and secondary of transformer, on each phase we are placing a diode. So we are going to see for different time instances how the circuit operation will be there. So this is the waveform, supply waveform. This is phase R phase, and the phase of Y will be having a phase difference of 120 degrees with respect to R phase. R phase. So this is phase Y. Y phase will be like this, and phase B will be having a phase difference of 240 degrees with respect to R phase. So phase B waveform will be like this. And if we extend this phase B waveform, and it will be like this. Okay. So in the output, which phase will be subjected to more forward bias, so that portion will be available. So up to see here, whenever the device is subjected to forward bias, the device will be in conduction. So if we closely observe from this portion, so R phase is subjected to more forward bias. So the diode which is connected to R phase is D1. So D1 will be in conduction from this point to this point. So from this point to this point, diode D1 will be conduction for a duration of 120 degrees, 2 pi by 3, and we are getting output voltage due to diode D1. So from supply R phase, and the current will be going from supply R phase diode D1 through load resistance and to neutral point. Current will be going in this path, and we are observing output voltage like this. So this output voltage will be available here. Next, at this point, point C, if we observe closely, the phase Y will be subjected to more forward bias, and the diode D2 will be connected in phase Y. So the diode D2 will automatically subjected to forward bias, and D2 turns on. Whenever D2 turns on, automatically D1 turns off. So D2 will be conduction, and this portion of input supply voltage will be available across the output due to conduction of diode D2. So when the diode D2 in conduction, the current will flow from phase Y, then diode D2 through load resistance R, and it will go into neutral terminal of star connected transformer. So in this closed path, the current will flow. And from this point, if we closely observe at point D, again point D, the diode D3 will be in conduction due to phase B subjected to more forward bias. More forward bias. So we are getting output, so this portion across the load. So like this, we are getting output waveform will be like this. So it is pulsating one, and whenever the diode which is subjected to more forward bias, so concerned output we are getting. So from point B to C, we are getting output voltage across the load due to conduction of diode D1, and from point C to D, we are getting output voltage due to conduction of diode D2, which is connected in phase Y. And similarly, from point D to E, we are getting output voltage due to conduction of phase B, and in that the diode D3 will be in conduction. Similarly, if we observe this phase B subjected to more forward bias from the instant A to B, A to B. So this instant the diode D3 is subjected to forward bias, and we are getting output voltage. So we are not shown in this, so we are getting output voltage like this. So that is due to conduction of diode D3. D3. So in this portion A to B. So this is the representation of input and output voltages. So the diodes which are connected in concerned phases will be conducting whenever the concerned phase is subjected to more forward bias. So this is input voltage waveform, and these are the output voltages. And every diode will be conducting for the duration of 120 degrees. So working of three-phase full wave uncontrolled rectifier. The above figure A shows the three-phase half-wave controlled rectifier circuit using delta to star connected transformer. The anode of diode D1, D2 and D3 are connected to secondary winding of transformer with R phase, Y phase and B phase respectively. The cathode of three diodes is connected to the neutral point of secondary winding. The resistive load is connected between neutral point and common cathode point of the diodes. Working. The three-phase supply voltage waveform is shown in figure B. The diode can block negative voltages, and it conducts when the phase voltage is maximum of the three phases. The effect of transformer winding reactance is neglected. The working of three-phase uncontrolled rectifiers is given below. At point A, the voltage of phase R becomes zero. The voltage of phase B becomes positive with respect to phase Y, resulting diode D3 in conduction, and the load current flows through phase B, diode D3, load resistance RL, and to neutral point. At point P, the voltage of phase Y becomes negative, the voltage of phase R becomes positive, and with respect to phase B, resulting diode T1 in conduction, the load current flows through phase R, diode D1, load resistance RL to neutral. At point C, the voltage of phase B becomes negative, the voltage of phase Y becomes positive, and with respect to phase R, resulting diode D2 in conduction, the load current flows through phase Y, diode D2, and load resistance RL to neutral point. There are three diodes, and each diode conducts in a proper sequence D3, D2, D1, D3, and so on. The conduction angle of each diode is 120 degrees. So this is regarding the operation of three-phase uncontrolled rectifier. Means we are using diodes in each phase, and whenever the diode is in forward bias, as we are not having any control in the instant of conduction, we are getting constant output voltages. So this is the circuit operation for three-phase uncontrolled converters. Now we are going to discuss three-phase half-wave controlled converter with the R load. So this is the connection diagram for three-phase controlled converters. So here we are having three-phase output. Actually, here we are having a transformer from delta to star. We are converting, and any secondary star will be connected to each phase, and in each phase we are connected a thyristor. In phase A we are connected thyristor T1, in phase B we have connected thyristor T2, in phase C we have connected thyristor T3. So this phase A will be connected through thyristor T1, and through load again it will be connected to neutral, and each thyristor will be connected to each positive terminal of thyristor will be connected to secondary of transformer secondary winding, and all the cathode terminals are connected together, and at this cathode terminal the load resistive type of load is connected, and this load is connected in between the cathode terminals of thyristors and neutral point. So this is the connection diagram of three-phase half-wave controlled converter. So across load we are getting a output voltage P naught. Three-phase half-wave controlled converter produces three-phase three load current pulses during one cycle of input AC three-phase supply. For one cycle we are getting three pulses in half-wave controlled converter. For one cycle we are getting three pulses. VA, VB, VC are the instantaneous input voltages applied to thyristors T1, T2, T3 respectively, and V0 is the instantaneous output voltage. The load current may be or resistive inductive or any DC motor. The load is maybe resistive load or RL load or a DC motor. So according to requirement we can connect the load. So in this case we are observing for resistive load only. Conducting sequence of thyristors. A thyristor is said to be forward biased when its anode is connected to highest positive instantaneous voltage. The other thyristors are said to be reverse blocking mode. Thyristors T1, T2, T3 will become forward biased at omega t is equal to pi by 6, 5 pi by 6, 9 pi by 6. We are going to see in this waveform representation So at time instant, so in three-phase waveform when we have drawn, so phase A will become positive at pi by 6 and phase B will become positive at 150 degrees, 30 plus 120, and phase C will be subjected to forward bias at 240 plus 30 degrees, 270 degrees. So at that time it will forward bias. Let us suppose firing pulses applied at an angle of alpha. So the thyristor's conduction will be delayed by angle of alpha. The thyristors T1 and T3 will be triggered at the time instant 5 by 6 plus alpha, 5 pi by 6 plus alpha, and 9 pi by 6 plus alpha. So actually at this time the thyristors T1, T2, T3 are forward biased and we are applying the firing pulse with a delay angle of alpha. So the time instant at which we are operating is this time plus this delay, again this time plus this delay, again this time plus this delay. So at these instances we are firing the SCRs. So this is the waveform representation. So this is a three-phase supply waveform and different phases. Phase A will be like this, and phase B will be lagging with respect to phase A by an angle of 120 degrees. The phase difference is 120 degrees. So phase B will be represented with this blue line, and phase C will be lagging with respect to phase A by an angle of 240 degrees. 240 degrees. So this is lagging by an angle of 240 degrees with respect to phase A, and the phase A waveform will be like this. So if we closely observe, the phase A will be more positive at the angle of 30 degrees, and phase B will be more positive at 150 degrees, and phase C will be more positive at 270 degrees. Okay, and the thyristor may be in forward bias in this duration 30 degrees to 150 degrees, and thyristor T2 will be forward biased for this duration 150 degrees to 270 degrees, and thyristor T3 will be more positive in this duration. So each thyristor will be in forward bias for a duration of 2 pi by 3, that is 120 degrees. And the sequence of conduction will be like this. So here we are having T1, T2, T3, again T1. So if we observe here at this small portion up to 30 degrees, from 0 to 30 degrees, phase C will be more forward bias. So thyristor T3 will be in forward bias. So sequence of conduction is T3, T1, T2, T3, T1. So like this, the conduction sequence of thyristors for three-phase half-wave controlled converter will be there in circuit operation. So when omega t is equal to 5 by 6 plus alpha, the T1 is acting as a short circuit. So T1 conducts, T2 and T3 will act like a open circuit. So T2 and T3 will be open circuit because T1 is subjected to more forward bias. Then it will be in conduction. These two are in open circuit. The instantaneous voltage VA will be connected across R load from the duration omega t is equal to 5 by 6 plus alpha to 5 by 6 plus alpha plus 120 degrees. So T1 will be in conduction for a duration of 120 degrees. 120 degrees. So current will be flow from phase A, there is the T1, and through load resistance, and it will be coming back to neutral, secondary of transformer, neutral terminal of secondary of transformer, and we are observing output voltage. So this phase A will be appeared across the output voltage. So this is the conversion process of AC to DC when T1 conducts. So at instant 5 pi by 6 alpha after 120 degrees, here If we observe, earlier T1 will be in conduction, now T2 will be in conduction as it is subjected to more forward bias, and these two will be off. T1 and T3 will be act like a open switch. T2 is acting like a closed switch. Closed switch. The instantaneous voltage VB will be connected across R load from the duration 5 pi by 6 plus alpha to 5 pi by 6 plus alpha plus 120 degrees. That means at instant 5 by 6 plus alpha, we have applied a trigger signal. T2 will be in conduction. So current flows from phase B through thyristor T2 and through load resistance, and it will be going to neutral terminal of supply. So when T2 is in conduction, phase B voltage will be connected to load voltage. So this load voltage will be the phase B voltage by neglecting a small voltage drop across thyristor T2. And this process will continue for a duration of 120 degrees because each thyristor will be in conduction for a duration of 120 degrees. Next, after again 120 degrees, omega t is equal to 9 pi by 6 plus alpha. So at that time, we are providing firing pulse to thyristor T3. Then it will be in conduction. Remaining two thyristors are off. So T3 will be acting like a closed switch, and T1 and T2 will act like a open switch. The instantaneous voltage Vc will be connected across R load from omega t is equal to 9 pi by 6 plus alpha to 9 pi by 6 plus alpha plus 120 degrees. For another 120 degrees, T3 will be in conduction, and the voltage available across load will be the phase C voltage by neglecting small voltage drop across the thyristor T3. Current flows from phase C thyristor T3 and through load resistance, and it is coming back to neutral terminal. So for this 120 degrees, this thyristor T3 will be in conduction. We are observing the load voltage, which is equal to phase C voltage. So this is the output voltage representation, waveform representation for a three-phase half-wave controlled converter using R load. Okay, so this is the three-phase supply waveform. This is phase A. So the pink, violet color one, the blue one will be phase B, and the light green one will be the phase C. So each phase will be having a phase difference of 120 degrees, and between B and C again 120 degrees. If we observe, phase A will be more forward bias at 30 degrees, but we are not applying firing pulse. It will be delayed by an alpha. An alpha. For a duration of alpha, it will be delayed. Then the thyristor T1 will be in conduction at this instant. So we are having output of phase A. This phase A output will be available up to this extent. So V0 will be like this. Again, if it is observed at this instant, phase B will be more forward bias, but we are not triggered at this point. If we closely observe at this point, we have not triggered the thyristor T2. So that's why from this portion onwards, the thyristor T1 will be in conduction only. As it is not reverse biased, T1 will be in conduction for a small duration, and then at a delay angle of alpha, the phase B will be triggered. So at this instant, T2 will be in conduction, and this phase B voltage will be available across the load up to this point. Again at this point, the intersection point of this blue line and the green line, that is the intersection point of phase B and phase C voltages. If we observe here, T3 is forward biased, but we have not fired. That's why this phase B voltage will be in conduction. Phase B voltage will be available across the output for a small duration. and at the delay angle of alpha, we have triggered thyristor T3. T3 will be triggered at this instant. So from this portion onwards, the phase C voltage will be available across the output. So if we observe, almost output voltage is continuous. So we are getting continuous conduction, means it is not reaching zero. So V naught is not zero for a duration of 0 to 30 degrees. So if we fire the thyristors, the delay angle of 0 to 30 degrees, we are getting continuous conduction. Continuous conduction. If we fire at a delay angle of 30 degrees, 30 degrees, if we delay an angle of 30 degrees, so at this point the phase C will become 0 and phase A will become more positive. So this voltage will be available, and here we are not firing T2, so T1 will be in continuous conduction. It will be in conduction, and at this point with the delay angle of 30 degrees we are firing T2, and the phase B voltage will be available. Thyristor T2 will be in conduction. Again here T2 is in conduction still, because T3 is not fired, and the continuous conduction of T2 takes place from this duration until the T3 has fired, and we are getting firing at T3, T3 in conduction. Similarly, we are getting the repeated cycles. So here, if we observe, the V naught is become 0, 0. Okay. And further, if we increase the firing angle, so here the phase C output will be 0, but still we have not fired thyristor T1. So thyristor is subjected to reverse bias and it won't conduct. It won't conduct. So T3 will off. T3 will off, and at the instant when we are firing, so after delay of further delay, so at this instant we are firing, so which is more than 30 degrees. So from this instant the output will be available. Phase A output will be available. So here it will be continuous until T2 is fired. Until T2 is fired. So at this instant, if we observe phase A voltage is 0, then T1 is reverse biased and it is switched off. So T1 is turned off, so no output voltage for a small duration. For a small duration, after T1 is turned off, there won't be any output until T2 is fired, and T2 will be in conduction. Whenever the phase B is subjected to reverse bias, phase B is subjected to 0, then it is subjected to reverse bias. Again T2 off. For a small duration, there won't be any output voltage. There won't be any output voltage. And the process will continue for the remaining cycles. So if we closely observe, for a firing angle of 0 to 30 degrees, the output is not reaching 0. We are getting continuous output voltage. At alpha, the output is reached 0. For more than 30 degrees to 150 degrees, for a duration this, if we observe, we are observing the discontinuous conduction. At this portion, no thyristor is in conduction. So discontinuous output voltage we are observing for firing angle more than 30 degrees up to 150 degrees. So we need to get the expression for average output voltage. So it is given as area under the curve over considered cycle divided by time period for the same cycle. So each thyristor will be conducting for a duration of 120 degrees. So 1 by period of this time 2 pi by 3 integration with respect to concerned phase t omega t. So we need to get the expression output voltage V naught is equal to 1 by 2 pi by 3 integration from each thyristor will be conducting from the instant 5 by 6 plus alpha to 5 pi by 6 plus alpha and Va d omega t. So for phase A, If we see the waveform, it will be conducting from pi by 6 plus alpha to 5 pi by 6 plus alpha. By assuming continuous conduction, we are getting the output voltage in case alpha is from 0 to 30 degrees. And if you integrate the expression, Va is Vm sin omega t. If we integrate, we will get the output as 3 root 3 Vm divided by 2 pi cos alpha, where Vm is the maximum phase voltage. For 30 to 150 degrees, we will get the expression as it will be 3 Pm by 2 pi 1 plus cos 5 by 6 plus alpha. Next, three phase half wave controlled converter with the RL load. So till now we have discussed the circuit operation when the load is consisting of resistive load. Now if the load is consisting of RL load, resistive and inductive type of load, then we are going to observe the circuit operation. So this is the similar circuit as we observed in the previous slides, but here the load is consisting of inductance. And let us fire the SCRs with a angle of delay angle of alpha. Let us suppose firing pulses are applied at an angle of alpha. Thyristors T1 and T3 will be triggered at instances 5 by 6 plus alpha, 5 by 6 plus alpha, and 9 5 by 6 plus alpha, as similar in the earlier case only. At 5 by 6 plus alpha, T1 acts as short circuit and T2, T3 will be open circuit. As the load is inductive, current rises slowly to its maximum value and falls slowly to zero. The only change is the current will not change suddenly. Current will not change suddenly because the load is consisting of inductance. Inductance. Current will not change suddenly. It will not rise suddenly. It will not reduce suddenly. The output voltage follows the input voltage through a small portion of negative half cycle until T1 will be turned off. Next, incoming thyristor T2 will be fired at an angle of 5 pi by 6 plus alpha. So this is from the instant 5 by 6 plus alpha. So phase A will be connected to load through thyristor T1. These two are in open. So equivalent circuit. The instant 5 pi by 6 plus alpha, T2 will be fired as like in the previous case only. Remaining all are in off. At 9 pi by 6 plus alpha, T3 will be in conduction. So phase C will be appeared across the load. So these are the output voltage across the load. So here, if you observe closely in the previous case, here whenever the firing pulse is applied, the phase A will be in conduction. Phase A will be subjected to more forward bias. More forward bias, but here we have not applied the firing pulse. We have applied firing pulse at a duration of 5 by 6 plus alpha. So at this instant, the phase A will be available at the load. Here, up to this duration, in the previous case, thyristor T1 will be turned off. At instant pi, the thyristor T1 will be turned off and there won't be any output. Any output. But here the load voltage follows the input voltage for a small duration due to the presence of inductance. Due to the presence of inductance in the load circuit, the inductance will drive the current for a small duration and we are observing the output voltage. Again, these negative spikes will be occurred in the output voltage. That is the only change. And the current will not rise suddenly. It will increases slowly and it reaches maximum value and slowly it reaches to zero. And like this, the output voltages are there. The only change is negative spikes are observed as like single phase converters with the RL load. And the expression for output voltage will be given as 1 by 2 pi by 3 conduction from 5 by 6 plus alpha to 5 pi by 6 plus alpha Vm sin omega t. So we will get as 3 root 3 Vm by 2 pi cos alpha. Three phase full wave control converter with a R load. Whenever the load is consisting of resistive load, and we are getting for full wave controlled operation, then the circuit will be like this. So here we are getting the AC supply. It will be connected to transformer, three phase transformer. From three phase transformer, we have connected to a bridge circuit, and in this bridge, six thyristors are available. T1, T3, T5 will constitute a positive group. T4, T6, T2 will constitute a negative group of thyristors, and each time two thyristors will be in conduction. Two thyristors will be in conduction, and from positive group one thyristor, and from negative group one thyristor will be in conduction, and each pair of thyristors will be conduction for a duration of 60 degrees, and each thyristor will be in conduction for a duration of 120 degrees. 120 degrees. So this is a three phase supply representation. So this is phase A, and this is phase B, and this is phase C, and each phase will be lagging by an angle of 120 degrees. 120 degrees with respect to other. So here phase B will be lagging by an angle of 120 degrees with respect to phase A, and phase C will be lagging by an angle of 120 degrees with respect to phase B, and C is lagging 240 degrees with respect to A. And if we observe, each thyristor will be conducting for a duration of 120 degrees, and a pair of thyristors will be conducting for a duration of 60 degrees. 60 degrees. Okay, the thyristor which is subjected to more forward bias will be in conduction from the positive group for every instant, and the thyristor which is subjected to more negative, so that will be conducting from bottom group. Bottom group. Each time the phase of each phase will be changing with respect to time, and accordingly the thyristor will be in conduction will be changing depending on the instant of firing pulse. Firing pulse. If we apply the firing pulse at alpha equal to 0, then in that case, uh, whenever the phase is subjected to more forward bias, concerned thyristor will be in conduction. So if we observe at this instant, so here phase A will be subjected to more forward bias. So from this portion T1 in forward bias, but here we have not applied the trigger pulse. We have applied the trigger pulse as a duration of alpha. So from this instant to this instant, T1 will be in conduction. T1 will be in conduction. So it will be conducting for a duration of 120 degrees. So during this portion, the T1 will be in conduction. Next, from the bottom portion, if you observe, here this phase C will be more reverse bias. During this portion, phase C will be more forward bias. So for this three phase C, T2 will be subjected to more reverse bias. More reverse bias. That's why it will be in. So here negative group thyristor uh, connected to negative terminal. Negative, more negative. Then it will be in conduction. Thyristor T2 will be forward biased, as more negative supply will be connected to negative terminal of supply. So T2 will be forward bias. So in the bottom group, T2 will be forward bias for this much duration. Up to this only it will be more negative, but not triggered. It will be delayed by an angle of alpha. So that's why, so from this portion, T2 will be in forward bias. So the intersection of concerned thyristors from this portion, if we observe, T1 will be more forward bias from this to this. and T2 will be more forward bias from this point to this point. So if we observe at this point, T1 and T2 will be in conduction. T1 is more forward bias, T2 is more forward bias. So that's why we are observing the output voltage. T1 is connected at phase A and T2 will be connected in phase C. This phase A, phase B, phase C. So VAC will be available. Similarly, at different instances, concerned output voltage will be available. And if we plot clearly on graph sheet, we can easily observe the waveform representation for full wave controlled converter. So in this we have observed the bridge converter and three thyristors in positive group 135 and the remaining 462 will be in negative group. Each pair of thyristor will be connecting at the given instant. So this is the circuit operation for three-phase full wave controlled converter for R load. So in this lesson, we have discussed the conducting three sequence of three-phase half-wave controlled converter is 5 by 6 plus alpha, 5 pi by 6 plus alpha, and 9 5 by 6 plus alpha respectively. Each thyristor will conduct at one time for 120 degrees. The average DC output voltage V0 for three-phase half-wave controlled converter decreases when firing angle increases. The expression for V0 is given as for three-phase half-wave controlled converter V0 is equal to 3 root 3 Vm by 2 pi cos alpha. This is for continuous conduction and it will be given as V0 is equal to 3 Vm by 2 pi 1 plus cos 5 by 6 plus alpha. This is for discontinuous conduction. For RL load, so it will be 3 root 3 by 2 pi 1 plus cos of 5 by 6 plus alpha. In controlled rectifier, nature of load current, that is whether load current is continuous or discontinuous. In controlled converter, the nature of load current. So in that option A does not depend on type of load and firing angle delay. Option B depends both on type of load and firing angle delay. Depends on type of load, depends on firing angle delay. Does not depend on type of load and firing angle delay. Three-phase half-wave controlled converter produces discontinuous conduction. So this is discontinuous conduction for a duration of 30 degrees to 150 degrees. The conducting sequence of thyristors of three-phase half-wave controlled converter for a firing angle delay of 45 degrees. So actually it is pi by 6 plus alpha and 5 by 6 is nothing but 30 and each thyristor will be conducting for a duration of 120 degrees and actually it is from 30 plus 45 75 degrees plus 120 195 plus 120 31. So option B. In three-phase half-wave controlled converter, each thyristor will be conduct for a duration. Each thyristor will be in conduction for a duration of 120 degrees. So these are the few multiple choice questions on the three-phase controlled converter for different loading conditions. If you have any questions, you are welcome. If you have any questions, you can ask on the comment box. Thank you all of you for your patient listening to this lecture. Thank you all of you.